I just wanted to share this with you guys. It's been an incredible journey. I thank you so much for, just all the comments. I thank you for everything. But now I want to share with you what we produced in 2025. I'm so excited to show you these things. Because it's just a long time coming, man. It's just a long time coming. It's like a dream come true to me. Hey, how's it going, guys? Paul, Spheric Reptiles. And as I said in the lead-in video, I'm so excited to be showing you these hatchlings for 2025 that we were able to produce here at Spheric Reptiles. Man, let me tell you. It's hard not to get emotional about these type of things, but I remember when I was an 8-year-old and 9-year-old kid running through Dallas, Texas, through the creeks and sometimes down in the gutters, and then going out to East Texas and seeing snakes there and just different types of wildlife, how in awe I was. And then I would run back home and I would grab my Encyclopedia Britannica, which I'm pretty sure if you're older, if you're my age, you know what I'm talking about. Or I'd go to the library and look for everything I could. And then when Jack Hanna came on, I would always hope it to be reptiles, but most of the time it was lions, tigers, and bears. Stuff like that over in Africa. Not bears in Africa, but giraffes and stuff like that. But man, let me tell you. So in 2022, we started out on this journey and we put together all the plans. And then before the end of the year, we formed our LLC and we did all this stuff. All the things that you're already doing. So if you're doing that, that's great. Like I said, do it before you get the animals. That way you can focus more on that. And then when you get your animals, everything else is in place, right? So get your websites, get your channels up and running, get all the platforms you're going to use, get your branding and everything that you can possibly start on, because you can always change this stuff, right? But with these hatchlings coming, like this is our second year, and we had 13 clutches total. And man, let me tell you, we started out with 4 and we bought the ultrasound before that. And it was kind of like, man, I don't know if I can do it. But with this year's, we were able to, out of 15 pairings, we were able to get 13 clutches. That's really good. We had 2 that reabsorbed, and I think that's fairly good odds, and then our average clutch size was around 7. So we had a lot that were 6, we had some that were 8, we had some that were 11, and we even had some that were 4. So on average, when I average it out, it was 7. So I think that's really good. We pre-bought all of these hatchling racks and things like that ahead of time. But man, just sharing these hatchlings and the dream that we have is something that I want to transfer over to you. One of the things that you get from when you produce hatchlings is it fuels that fire, right? So every time that you're producing hatchlings, you're putting their male together, you're raising these animals up regardless of the stage at which you bought them. So you could have bought a hatchling, a juvenile, a subadult, an adult. Either way, you're raising them up until they're ready. So either the females develop the follicles or the male's old enough and he's producing sperm plugs, right? And I know that if you're doing this or you're even considering, think about it, this is part of it. So you're buying the rodents, you're feeding them all the time, you're cleaning up poop, you're doing water changes, which is incredible just to be able to do that in itself. But when you get those hatchlings, it kind of puts that excitement in there that, hey, I can do it. And then in that second year, you start producing things that you really are working towards in your projects. Let me tell you, it's just phenomenal how you feel when you see those eggs laid. I know that y'all know what I'm talking about, but when you see those eggs, that female's coiled on top of them and you uncoil her, and as you're setting up that egg box, the way that you feel, the only thing that really beats that is the birth of a child. So when you go through the birth of your children, then you experience this, but that's at a whole different level. And for that's like the pinnacle for me. That was the pinnacle of my life right there. Just being there, seeing that. But then when you go down to anything else, like, so if you breed dogs, you could see that. But in breeding ball pythons, when you see that, you get to see it over and over and over. And there's a lot of responsibility that comes in that. And so when you incubate them 55 to 60 days later, then you get these eggs, and some of them you have to cut out. Some of them have already pipped. I'm talking so fast that I'm just so excited that it's just like I can't even keep up with the words that are in my mind. And you see, I got a big head. So, man, but the other thing that this does for you is as you're producing animals, now all of a sudden you can provide animals to people that actually want them, whether they're breeding or they're wanting them for pets. So when we do our pet expos, man, I have such a great time with it that I talk to anybody. Like if you come up to the table and you're talking to me first, you got my attention. That's just the way that I am. Someone else can come, I will greet you and say, I'll be right with you, but I'm going to have the full conversation. And I remember when I was at NARBC this last time, and I don't mean to ramble because I'm so excited. There was a kid who came up and he just walked up. He asked a couple of questions. I ended up talking to this kid for over an hour just about his love for reptiles, his love for pythons. And I was even throwing in good questions like, well, out of the ball pythons, which pattern morphs do you like? Do you like males? Do you like females? You know, so is there any particular look that you're looking for? Do you have any? And if you do, what, or reptiles and all this other stuff, because that just brings me so much joy. So when I put together this platform, I wanted to just really transfer the joy that I have over to you. And hopefully, and I've been getting a lot of joy back. Like, so I get comments all the time that are just talking about how exciting and the different things that people are doing. And I'm like, hey, that might work for me. I try it out. And if it works, I just definitely incorporate it. But hey, let's get to these videos. And that way you can stop hearing me ramble. Let me be excited about some actual animals. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is start off with the hatchlings that I'm really excited about, because clowns inevitably got me into the projects anyway. Like, so I want clown as a lot of our base projects, and not for everything, but I do like clowns. And what we found is that a lot of people just really enjoy clowns on the pet level. So starting off with, we kept 1.6. So we kept, that's kind of crazy. The only male that we kept was this guy right here. Starting off with Seattle, he's a tongue twister. So we had him genetic tested, guys, and this is one of the proof sources, because there's no way I could have identified him. But he's a Huffman leopard, spot-nosed yellow belly that's het for clown. You can see just how beautiful he is. And as we look under there, you see just the difficulty I would have had trying to identify him. And, you know, it was just great that we had RGI to do the full panel on him and find out. Now, we did produce a leopard Huffman het clown, but instead of keeping her, we did opt to try to make her available for someone. And we kept this beautiful Huffman that is het for clown female. And you just see just how she's not yellow belly. She doesn't have anything else, but you can just see how vibrant her colors are. And I'll turn her over so you can see the underside. I mean, she's a really good feeder. Her name is Bitey because when she first came out, all she wanted to do was bite. And so that was something else. And as she's squirming right here, I'll use Arctic here to discuss our second female that we kept. And she's a visual clown, and she's trying to, I mean, they're just having a really good social interaction here. But she is a sulfur pinstripe that is also yellow belly and spot nose. And she's a clown. She's a visual. We had her a full panel tested on her. And I really felt like, you know, in just trying to choose what projects to pursue, that having something like this in a visual clown form would be very good. Now, as they're getting nosy over here, well, I know which ones are which, so they're going to squirm around. And I mean, this is kind of how we give them their enrichment anyway. I hatched out all of these animals. This one right here is very, very interesting to us. This came from a dual sire clutch, as you guys remember, and this is Willow, man. Willow is a leopard spot nose that tested double het for clown and pied. Now, in the beginning, because Willow looked just like with the eyes and everything, I was just, when I had the shed test done, I was just really confused. And I talked to Dr. Morrill, and I also talked to Sean at RGI about, you know, is it possible that this is a dual sire clutch, and how did that happen and everything else? So we reran the test in the beginning to make sure that she wasn't lavender pied. And then we also just paid for another test to have her tested for the leopard and the spot nose, which I didn't in the beginning. And she turned out to be the only one of the clutch that was leopard spot nose, double het for clown and pied, which is crazy because the mom, remember the mom from this clutch, if you remember the video, was a double het for dreamsicle, so lavender albino piebald. She got the genes of Bruce Wayne, which is a leopard spot nose yellow belly clown, but she doesn't have yellow belly. And she also got the pied form. So that was really interesting to get that. And let me go ahead and get Arctic back, and I'll use these two girls in the back. So this is Gamora. So if you remember the big clutch we had when I was testing out the 25% rule, I was trying to see what our odds would be. Should have been 25% of them should have been a visual. Well, this is the only visual confusion clown that we got. And she turned out to be a doozy, right? So doozy, that is a crazy word. I wish I wouldn't have used that. But you can see just her head stamp and why I'm really looking at the confusion and acid projects for clowns and other projects, because I like the pattern disruption. And even as adults, these turn out to look really interesting, even in the normal form. So this is the visual clown. And as I step over, I'll get her sister Storm. And you can see, even as a non-visual clown, you can see just how the pattern is just disrupted. And that's one of the things that I like about confusion, static, and acid. Even though we don't have any of the static, you can definitely see here that she's a good feeder. And I held her back just because I really want to pursue a lot more of the pattern disrupting patterns in our clown projects. So, and I'm trying to do this all by myself. I don't have Lynn to shoot the videos for me or anything like that. So if it comes out looking funny, just let me know. But hey, this is one of the things that I really wanted to do, is to be able to create our own projects. And as I reach back here and grab this last little hatchling, she was just hatched a couple of weeks ago. We had her genetic tested, and because I didn't know how to identify red stripe. So in getting her tested with RGI, she did prove out to be red stripe, black pastel, and she's head clown because her dad is a clown. And you can just see just how pretty she is. She couldn't have been a visual at all because the mom, who should have been head clown, proved to not be head clown. But at the end of the day, guys, look, this definitely moves me forward in my projects and knowing exactly the genes that she has from the shed testing. So that's one of the things that I always want to stress, is when you're breeding and you're producing animals, as you look at these animals get their enrichment, and I'm not going to put them up just yet, it's very important for you to get these animals genetic tested that you have any questions about, because it could actually derail your projects if you're shooting for a specific look, a specific pattern. And also, and one thing we never discuss in the ball python industry is health. So you want to make sure that you're only keeping viable, healthy specimens for everything, right? And then if you do happen to sell an animal that's not 100% healthy, make sure that you let the buyer know everything, be completely transparent. So as I put these guys up, as they kind of investigate and look at each other, get the sense from each other, you know, they're all ball pythons. So, you know, it makes sense. They smell each other all the time. And so I'm going to show you our next hatchling holdbacks. All right, to start off with this, guys, this is one of the projects that I'm really excited about. And none of these guys are going to stay still. I mean, they're so active. They're constantly getting held together and everything else. So I will start off with our Acid Orange Dream Yellow Belly clutch, which I bred an Acid Orange Dream Yellow Belly to a TSK Hypo or a True Ghost. So starting off with, guys, these are our Acid TSK Hypo projects, and I tested her for Orange Dream and Yellow Belly, and the test came back heterozygous for Orange Dream and Yellow Belly, so I'm really excited to have her. And so her name is Christine, based off of the horror flick by Stephen King, and I just think that she's really, really amazing, guys. And I want to see what maybe a Super Orange Dream would do down the line. So I couldn't breed her directly to her brother, and she's got a little poop in here, but I'll grab her sister, and she came back positive for Orange Dream, not Yellow Belly. And it was kind of confusing, and that's why I wanted to do the shed test to just find out. But this is Carrie. She's a little bit underweight because she does skip occasional meals. She'll eat like every other meal. So that's what we have here. And then right next to him, I have Candyman, their brother. And you can see she's Orange Dream, and he came back positive for Orange Dream as well. But the Orange Dream really shines through on him a lot more. So you can definitely see here what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to take that Acid and Orange Dream, and maybe even some Yellow Belly in her case, into the TSK Hypo project. So I'm hoping that we get some animals that are truly incredible. And it's a hope, because when I looked on Morph Market, remember I'm always talking about creating something new, I didn't see any animals that were Acid for True Ghosts. So I'm going to try to wrestle them in. And now let me get Nike, who is seeming to investigate here, to discuss the other clutch that we did. And this is one of our male holdbacks. We only held back 2.4 of these for this project. But he is a Bamboo Inchy Calico. that is double het for TSK and hypo. And you can see just how the calico influence is. And the inchy keeps the line all the way together. So it's almost like a genetic stripe. It keeps it from being unbroken, and it's solid all the way through. So that's what we got here. And they're just going to do their own thing, but I can't really blame him. I didn't mean to slam him down like that. So his sister is a bamboo that is double het for TSK and hypo. And you can see why we kept her. I didn't know if she was calico or not because bamboo does raise a lot of the pattern up, but I would say that she's not inchy because she looks like another bamboo head clown that we have here at the, And the very last one that we got is this beautiful girl right here who is a pastel calico that is also probably inchy. You see how the pattern is almost solid all the way through? And I can say that because she does not have any bamboo in her, but she is double het for TSK and hypo. But hey guys, these are our projects that we were working on for TSK hypo. Of course, we're trying to work some additional ones. As I grab these girls from over here, they're just, I mean, when you enrich your animals all the time, then they never really stay still, right? They're always moving around and doing something. She went all the way from here to there, but before I put her up, I would definitely clean her tub out. And I also remove all of the water dishes during this because anytime I interact with them, I want to clean their water dishes just to be, over the top. So I'll get our very last group of holdbacks, and I hope that you guys are enjoying this video as much as I am proud to show them to you. Hey, I'm so excited about our dreamsicle project. Man, let me tell you. Look. So I'm going to start off from the back and work my way forward. So here I have Sycamore. She is the sister to the one that I just showed that was leopard and spot-nosed double het clown pie. And you can see why I had the confusion about it. Because when you look at them, this is a leopard confusion that's double het for dreamsicle or lavender albino piebald. And you can just see how crazy her pattern is. But the other one's pattern was just as crazy. And Sycamore has proven to be like everything that I'd hoped for in a het. Of course, with this clutch, I was hoping to have more visuals for pieds or for lavender albino, but we struck out here. You can see just how big she is. And what I like to do is show her sister off really quick, just to show you just a difference in size. And this is a leopard confusion that is lavender albino, that's heifer piebald, and this is cottonwood. So we typically name all of our animals in the same group so that even when we're looking at them and we're talking about them or just looking at the hatchling rack, we can see some of the things that are the same and some of the things that are different in them. And you can see just how crazy her belly is. You can see how the confusion definitely is all through her belly, and then the leopard makes the pattern really crazy. So we're hoping to make some really beautiful animals from both of these. Now, their dad is a blackhead confusion leopard dreamsicle. We're actually trying to find another male that would fit this, but we're going to wait a little bit longer and maybe we can find an adult that's already there. But so from the so we bred 2 dreamsicles to the same Maximus or the blackhead leopard confusion. And what we got here is we got our Game of Thrones dragons. We have here Viserion, we have Balerion, and then we have Drogon here. But I'll start here with Viserion, who is a blackhead leopard that is also lavender. You can see just how that it's almost gold through there. And you can see just the blackhead influence, how it makes the whole pattern just white for now. But all of this will turn lavender, so it'll be a lavender and a yellowish look, a purple and a yellow look when she gets older. But we kept her just because she's a visual. And then we also kept her sister, Balerion, who is just a lavender that's heifer pied. But we wanted to have a lot of shots at visuals, so we chose to keep her back just in case. Now, we did go out and purchase a black pastel lavender albino that's not het for anything, but we did that just so that we could still make animals for people when we do our shows or just for our pet level buyers, because, we feel like everybody should be able to get the type of snake that they want. Now, the very last one, and I'm so excited about all of this, is Drogon. And he doesn't have the crazy pattern, but he is a leopard confusion. You can see just how crazy his pattern is right there, how it jumps all back and forth across his dorsal pattern. You can see under the bottom the true combination of leopard and confusion there. But he's our only male holdback because, as you see, we held back 1.4. And man, let me tell you, so when it comes to projects, you want to hold back things that will help you move forward. And of course, I've already stated how much I like the confusion gene. I like the acid gene. So I want to incorporate that into as many things as I can. But for here, I don't really want to make brown snakes. So hopefully with the TSK project, with our clown project, and then with our lavender albino pied or dreamsicle projects, you can see just the direction that we're going. We got some other things that we're working, but those things are further down the line. They have like a 5-year plan to them. So what we're trying to do is create some things that are immediate, and you can see just how beautiful these animals are, and they still want to find the hides. And speaking of the hides, I use the hides for any of the animals that are reluctant feeders until they become really strong feeders. So you can see here with Sycamore, she is a very strong feeder. She's the largest of the group. I mean, she's actually one of the older animals out here on the table right now. And so she doesn't need a hide. In fact, she's getting ready to have to be moved up to the next stage of housing. But I'm going to let her max this out and keep her feeding. And then that way, when we move her, then we'll crowd up that enclosure and just see what works. But you can see just how beautiful these animals are, and I hope you're enjoying it. So as you've seen these hatchlings that we're holding back, I mean, it is really, really, really exciting for me to be able to hold these back. And of course, we held back some other ones. This year, we're actually having a female that was bred first, like out of our very first clutch that's breeding this year. She's been around for over 2 years now, and she's actually developing follicles. I mean, and I'm telling you, it's just really emotional. It gets really emotional when I start seeing things like this. And just like last night, I was watching YouTube, and Chris Harwood came across, and I was able to get in on the chat during the live. And it, you know, when you meet the people that help you get in and help you understand, you like to pay homage. So for Chris, I definitely thank him for all of the morph videos he did when Morph Market. A lot of people didn't even know about Morph Market. He was pulling in animals and putting together combinations and things like that that you would have never guessed. And then I also want to thank Will and Audrey with Flawless Exotic Creations. I want to thank Bob Vu. I want to thank Steven and Courtney with Leviathan Snakes. Of course, I want to thank Justin and the team over there at Canova. I mean, there's been a lot of people that have given me feedback, but the most important person that has given me feedback that is just invaluable has been Danny and Anna Cadena with Chain Reaction Exotics. Man, let me tell you, I don't know if I ever would have made the move over to actually get into breeding, you know, because when you're just starting to buy animals, you're still kind of on the fence. But they in particular really helped me to understand the economics of it, the timelines that I will be facing, to actually see someone who had been doing it. So Danny and Anna, your family, man, I love you so much. But hey guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video of our hatchlings. I know I sure as heck did. I mean, I'm so happy to be showing them off to you. I hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas, and I hope that you're having a Happy New Year or whatever you're celebrating. Man, let's look into 2026 and see how we can make it shake, baby. So enjoy that time that you spend with your reptiles, and love your family while you got them.